Hey guys, Dean here. We are here today to talk about why it is not as profitable in the trucking business today as it used to be. You know, back when there used to be a lot more loads, there wasn't as much competition in trucks. You know, post-COVID, we are experiencing a big shortage on parts. The rates have dropped drastically. So I think, you know, like when you look at profitability and stuff like that, if, you know, you just make up, I'm just going to go off the top of my head and say we're paying $1,200 for a load that's coming out of Quebec into Ontario. For us Canada guys, you know, let's say we're getting paid $1,200 for that load. Now you run into an issue where, you know, you blow a tire, you know, the cost of rubber's gone up, the cost of importing all this stuff in is through the roof. And say we spend $500 on a tire and a repair while we're out on the side of the road. You add fuel into that, we're running down the road for pennies. The availability of parts and breakdowns, so one small breakdown, it might not be much that, you know, a big part that we need for after the breakdown, but trying to get that part in, you know, you show up at Freightliner or Volvo. If you're in a Peterbilt, you don't break down. No, I'm just kidding. No, if you show up at one of these places that you're looking for a part, you know, the only part available is, you know, 3 states away from you, or, you know, it's on the other side, or it's, you know, here in Canada, we get it, it's just far out in the States or something. And the wait time for it to come in could be, you know, 2 weeks where you're waiting for this part to come in. You know, that's going to be downtime. You can't really afford to have your truck sitting there for a couple weeks. And then, you know, you step outside that scale and you say, okay, well, you know what, I'll take a rental. You can't even get a rental nowadays, you know, because again, the competition, and because of all these part shortages and stuff like that, everybody needs a rental. So trying to get a truck in to facilitate what we need and get us down the road, we're spending money out of our pocket. We're not making money like we used to, you know.
Pause. 1 second. Are you interested in being a sponsor for one of our next videos? Do you have a product, app, or service that can benefit our North American truck drivers that you'd like to promote on our channel? With over 125,000 truck drivers across 4 platforms, 8.5 million views in the last 12 months, let our channel bring your product to life. Send us an email if you're interested in sponsoring one of our next videos. And now back to that video.
Again, this is only my take on it. There's probably some places out there, and you know, some of us have really good contracts. I myself am really lucky with the company I'm in. We do a lot of specialized stuff, and because of that, we stay pretty busy. I'm running pretty hard most of the time. You know, if it wasn't for that, a lot of the people that I talk to, have a lot of friends that are in the industry that, you know, A, are owner operators and own their own trucks, and B, that run for other companies, but you know, they're running dry bulk. You know, dry bulk is it's a dime a dozen. You can haul it, I can haul it, he can haul it, she can haul it. We can all haul the same load down the road. Most of us have a dry van, or most of us have a, you know, a curtain side or something that we can pull that material in. Us, you know, being a little bit of, you know, more oversized stuff, and again, specialized products and stuff that we're taking down the road. Not everybody is pulling that stuff. So when they're looking for a carrier to pull a dry van down the road with 24 skids, 22 skids, it's pretty basic. They can call in anybody for that. If your rate isn't where they want it, they're going to go to the guy that's got that lower rate. You know, we're all out there trying to make money, because we got to put fuel in these things, and fuel ain't cheap these days. Like, fuel is through the roof. Thank God it's come down just a little bit in the last little bit, but you're trying to make money. You're trying to keep your rates at a decent price to stay competitive. You know, it only takes one small thing to go wrong during that trip, and that trip just became non-profitable at all. Like, we did not make money on it. It's getting to be a tough market out here. You know, like back in the day, trucking was a camaraderie. It was considered like a profession. You know, like the way we looked at it, anyways. We were the best of the best on the road, and that's you know, kind of the way that we looked at it. Now trucking is vast. It's like, to get a license now to drive a truck is pretty easy. You know, you show up, you drive a truck around the block a couple times, and there you go. Here's your commercial driver's license, and away you go down the road. You know, it's not that it was like super hard to get your trucking before, but you know, there was no such thing as an automatic truck. Everything was standard. You know, if we go real old school, back to some of you remember, you know, double shifters and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it was a skill. It was a skilled trade to be able to drive a truck down the road. Yeah, so, you know, like, I mean, to break it down, I guess at the end of the day is, Pre-COVID, things were a little bit easier. Post-COVID, parts, costs, everything the inflation has gone through the roof. It's still an awesome, I love trucker through and through, diesel in the veins, right? It's getting to be a tough market out here. If it's somebody, you're looking at getting into trucking, I don't want to shy anybody away from it. Obviously, I want everybody in a truck seat because it's a cool job. But, really do your research, do your homework. Ronan's put out some great videos lately on companies to look for and what to look for in a company when you're looking for a job. I think there's a driver shortage, or there's a trucker shortage, not a driver shortage, one of the two, whatever way you want to look at it. Rate-wise, I don't know on our end how it's affecting our rates. It sucks, like me and one of the other drivers have been talking, saying that because he needs drivers, he's pulling drivers in, and some of these guys have been driving for 3 weeks are making $1 less than I am, and they're hitting everything they see, right? Yeah, you got yourself a driver, but you don't got a driver, you know what I mean? Now I gotta go with this guy for a week in the truck because I gotta train him. I'm training a guy that's, making the same amount of money as I am. It pisses you off because now if I quit, now you're gonna be stuck with all these guys that you can't do anything with. Like, you can't send them anywhere because they don't know how to do the job. And when you do send them there, they're there for 3 hours strapping down a load, right? I'm in and out in 20 minutes. They're there for 3-4 hours trying to figure out what to do, and God only knows how it's rolling down the road. Companies that are shipping product down the road don't look at the bigger end of the picture, right? They're not looking at an accident. They're looking at what does it cost to, from A to B, how much is this gonna cost? I say $100, you say $50. What sounds better? $50. I say I'm on $100 because, we run really good, solid equipment. My drivers are all experienced. We have a very low accident rate. We have this and that. So I got a lot of things I can pitch to you, but the company doesn't look at that, right? They're looking at, yeah, but you're $50 more.